Democrats shut out of power. They're being goaded by the angry left to do more than just sing and dance, even more than torch Teslas. J.B. Pritzker, who thinks he can be president and isn't very maha, says we need to go on the warpath against this tyrant in the White House.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption, but I am now. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box. They must feel in their bones that when we survive this shameful episode of American history with our democracy intact, because we have no alternative but to do just that, that we will relegate their portraits to the museum halls reserved for tyrants and traitors.
Other Democrats aren't waiting till the next election. A House Democrat from Michigan just introduced articles of impeachment.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. Today, I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump, outlining 7 articles of impeachment. This isn't leadership, it's tyranny. If we let this stand, we are saying the president is above the law.
I'm just as confused as you are. I didn't even know that guy was a congressman. I'd never even seen him before until my staff told me, yeah, he's a member of Congress. He's been in Congress for 2 years. He wasn't born here. I bet you could tell that. He was born in India. And the other question I'm sure you have is that a toupee? The answer is no. His hair's real. We looked into it. And guess how old he is? Stick around until the end of the show and we'll tell you. Anyway, Democrats' approval's in the tank and voters want their old, embarrassing politicians given the boot. But Chuck Schumer says he's going out like Dianne Feinstein.
You yourself has faced recent calls to retire or at least step down as Senate Democrats leader. You've said you're staying put. Tell our audience why. Would you explain that, please?
I'm staying put because I have been able to unite my caucus in a very strong fight against Trump. And that's what we have to do. And I'm doing it every day in every way.
It's no wonder Democrats are sick of the leadership. Hakeem Jeffries, he spent his Sunday on the steps of Capitol Hill staging a sit-in.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'm sure you didn't expect last year when thinking about this birthday that I would be your birthday date in this location.
Yes.
But this, of course, is the moment that we find ourselves in, and delighted to be here because this is, as you've indicated, a moral moment.
Barely anybody showed up. Maybe people didn't recognize Hakeem with this new look. Pretty fresh. And if you're not aroused by the leader's moving words, he brought in backup for a little sing-along.
Yada-die, 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 yada-die. And if we build this world from love, yada-die, 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 then God will build this world from love.
The Democrats even brought out a tie-dyed trans to do their best Bernie Sanders impression. Listen.
This is a Congress that is hell-bent on passing a heartless budget that would result in the largest cut in Medicaid in American history. All to partially, just partially pay for tax cuts for Donald Trump's billionaire best friends.
Speaking of Bernie, he says Democrats' messaging it's a mess. But he's not changing his tune.
What Democrats lack right now is a vision for the future.
Let me ask you about something that your colleague, Senator Alyssa Slotkin, said. She said Democrats should stop using the term oligarchy because it's a phrase that doesn't resonate with all Americans. Are you missing a chance to speak to a wider audience, Senator?
Well, geez, we had 36,000 people out in Los Angeles, 34,000 people in Colorado. We had 30,000 people in Folsom, California, which is kind of a rural area. I think the American people are not quite as dumb as Ms. Lockton thinks they are.
Bernie isn't the only one sticking with the same old playbook. Rachel Maddow, she swears Trump's really going to overthrow democracy this time. She promises.
I think that he is definitely more ambitious in terms of the kind of radical change he wants for the country. I do think we're in the middle of an attempted authoritarian overthrow of American democracy. I mean, I think everybody who predicted that was right, but I don't think he's any better at it.
And Joy Reid says, you know what the problem is? The whites.
We're a nation of the strongest parts of each community on earth. If you take that away and try to distill us just down to white folks, we'll be like Europe, an aging, slowly dying former empire. The Roman Empire didn't survive because it didn't have enough strength in its diversity. It suppressed its diversity and it died. If the U.S. wants to be the Roman Empire, keep voting the way you're voting, y'all.
These are the same old smears. Nobody's buying them. We just want to be normal and a little law and order. Any lawmaker that doesn't get that needs a reality check.
When I get to the cashier asked me if I want one of those Target bags with a little bullseye on it. And I said, yes, that Target bag is going to be my luggage for the next 2 days. And she asked me what happened, and I told her, and basically said, in not so many words, yeah, Democrats are and I thought, you know, if the cashier in South San Francisco at 10 o'clock at night believes that Democrats are because the shampoo is locked up and my stuff got stolen out of the trunk, we've got a major problem.
Nationally syndicated radio host Dana Loesch is here. Dana, so Schiff didn't realize they were locking up stuff at the CVS. They've been doing that for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, when you leave your white ivory tower and you actually go out amongst the dirty, unwashed masses, Jesse, I mean, the real world hits you. I mean, they got to lock up deodorant and soap because everything's been so bad under Biden. And because of restorative justice, we've had lawlessness and disorder. So everybody's stealing everything. And can I just add, Joy Reid's little missive on the fall of the Roman Empire is one of the most historically illiterate, intellectually vapid things I've ever heard in my life. I can't believe she got a degree at Harvard. So between her and David Hogg, they're really knocking out some bangers up there. But also, I see now why MSNBC fired her, because that's one of the stupidest things that I've ever heard. There's a multitude of things that played into that. But you know what? Not having a national identity after spending too much, growing too much, and incorporating too much, that's one of the things that did it. And in the United States, our national identity is freedom. And when you use CRT and get everybody fighting against each other, that begins to dissipate. So maybe that's the lesson from the Roman Empire.
Yeah, the Roman Empire would have survived if they'd have DEI. That's all they needed, just a little DEI and CRT.
All they needed.
They would have still been around, for sure. How about this impeachment guy?
Exactly.
Did you know this guy existed? This guy, I can't even say his name. I don't want to say his name. It would be insulting to him for me to say his name out of respect.
I, like you, Jesse, was today years old when I found out that he was actually a member of Congress. And they're going to try to impeach Trump again, which, word of warning to House Republicans, y'all better be starting to codify all of these cuts and make permanent tax cuts and everything else. Otherwise, the Democrats are going to control things. And guess what? We're going to be playing impeachment from here on out for the rest of Trump's term. That guy, I mean, these people are clowns. Between that and J.D. Pritzker, and J.B. Pritzker acting like Republicans are somehow tyrants. You know what? We suffered, and you know this, Jesse. You covered this every night on your show. Whether it was the IRS going after people and persecuting them and releasing private information, or whether it was the FBI going at parents at school board meetings. I mean, we can go down the laundry list and play the hits, but everybody knows that we suffered a lot under the previous 4 years of Democrat administration. And this has been a breath of fresh air. And they have nothing to say in response to it, so it's all impeachment.
I'm suffering from watching Hakeem on the steps. What was
Timo
that?
Obama, yeah.
What was that look with him and Booker? What were they going for there?
That was it a protest, or was it them just being lazy? I mean, what was the point of all of that? They got and they live streamed and they played horrible music and none of them could keep to a beat. It's embarrassing. All these years of protests, and the left has not gotten any better. I didn't see them advocating for anything except a myriad of different issues, but there was no real solution to their problems. Can I just say one more thing, Jesse, real fast? I think that this is deliberate. They're going to be chaotic so they can introduce what they call a moderate candidate in 28 and make that look like, the cavalry's coming in. And that's how they're going to leverage that in 2028. So keep an eye on this chaos because I think some of it's manufactured.
All right. Well, maybe it'll be the guy from Michigan whose age will shock you. We'll tell you what that is at the end of the show.
I am waiting to hear about this. I'm watching.
All right. Thanks, Dana. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.